Today on Eppy Shop, we discover the meaning of life. Today on Eppy Shop, we sharpen a knife. Today on Eppy Shop, we fondle your wife. I do not like green eggs and ham, Sam I am. What up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Chop Shop. And what we're doing today is we're gonna get this transmission cleaned up. It's a 3-speed out of the F1 Hundo here, and it's gonna get the same treatment as a couple of the engines here have. I'm gonna clean this thing completely down to bare metal, paint it, regasket it, and probably for the first time ever, throw some fresh fluid in it. So let's get it going. And just real quick, and I'm sure you're probably tired of hearing about it. I am too. I've been explaining that I've been broke the last couple of episodes. What I mean by that is I'm being frugal because of the whole Corona thing. I happen to work in the RV industry, and pretty much everything that we use comes from China. If it doesn't come from China, it comes from somewhere local that got it from China. So I'm kind of trying to nickel and penny and, you know, keep the money situation tight in case we end up getting shut down for a little bit. So with that being said, I do have a bunch of other projects going on, little cool stuff. Like I said, the window that I just did, we're about to do this transmission. I have all kinds of cool side stuff going, but as soon as I got a little bit of extra cheddar, we're gonna get back at the flathead, get back to working on the frame notch for the F100. But just stay tuned, we'll get back to it. All right, guys, sorry to cut away and have to go through the whole coronavirus thing real quick, but you know, I kind of started a big project and then completely walked away from it. And you know, reason being is metal costs money. I don't have a bunch of money to be blowing right now. A 4x8 sheet of 11 gauge is like $100, so it's $100 I shouldn't blow right now. But let's get down to the nitty gritty of this here project. Like I said, this is just the original 3-speed manual transmission that came out of the F100. And the F100 was originally a 3-on-the-tree column shift. The shifter would have been right here. It has been converted poorly to a floor shift. I also have a brand new top data for it. Hurst shifter, full installation kit, everything to the handle, all the bracketry, everything. I'll swap out this ancient stuff. But this is just a 3-speed, so it's kind of a cool setup. I don't have a method of showing you well, I guess I do. I mean, up and left and up would be reverse, and then down would be first, and then neutral, and then up here would be your third, and then you'd be back down to fourth. And I'm not sure which one of these are which. One set's going to be first and reverse, the other set's going to be second and third. But see, these rods will just come back to a mechanism that bolts back here, and see, it just engages. So that will be first, I believe, or depending if it pivots back and forth. I can't figure what a cantilever, like a cantilever. But you see, so neutral, that'll allow me to kick this one back and forth. But if I obviously engage it, this one's locked where it is. Same thing otherwise, neutral, put this in a gear. So we're engaged into a gear right there. But this will all be replaced. This mount's gonna need to either have its bushing replaced or just getting replaced entirely itself. The throwout bearing was making some screaming noises before, so it's going bye-bye. And this is actually a pretty cool little piece. This just allows you to take your standard 302 and convert it to a manual transmission, because this is a mechanical setup. So there's literally just a shaft that runs from this ball to a ball on the frame that gets sandwiched in between them with 2 rods on them, and they just pivot back and forth with your clutch pedal, and that's how you engage and disengage your clutch. This will probably get reused, but it might come with a kit, in all honesty. Side note, I mentioned how grody my workbench has been. I actually took the effort to clean this boy up, brought some scrap stuff that I messed up at work, and cut open an old 3-flavored Christmas popcorn thing. So I upgraded my little workbench here. But let's get this thing blown apart. This thing's gonna get the normal treatment around here. You know, I like to take stuff that's super grody, take it down to bare metal. And I'm gonna hit this thing with some paint. I'm not 100% sure if I'm gonna go the blue of the truck like I did on the engine and valve covers and everything. I think I'm gonna, just because it's gonna be obnoxious. But I don't know, maybe I'll just go bell housing, blue, transmission, I don't know, bare steel paint, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let's get this thing cleaned up. We'll get the Hurst shifter out afterwards. This is also gonna be kind of an experiment because do I actually have any? I have a little bit of degreaser. I normally have a whole bunch of degreaser on hand, and you can tell this needs it. I don't have it, so I'm probably gonna have to bust out the Dawn dish soap and scrub this thing down, which is gonna suck, but it's pretty nice. So let's stop jibber jabbering, start worky. Let's talky, more worky. Let's talky, more worky. So I'm going to cut that short. I'm not going to jump back into yet another music montage of me washing something greasy. We will just get back to the transmission. And I apologize. I jumped forward. All I've done is I took that cover back off, got the gasket out of it, and I've kind of just lightly inspected the gears here. This transmission shift is great. There was a bunch of slop in it, but I think it was primarily from all just the nastiness of the shifter linkage and everything itself. I don't think there's anything in here that actually has any issues with it. I've removed the tail shaft, which is literally just 5 bolts, came right apart. I was going to do that in the first place, but I've never had one of these apart, and I wanted to get this cover off and actually look in here and just kind of give it a glance at it before I just slid this apart, because I don't understand how this works, really. So, and what we're going to do now is I was able to clean that out a little bit, or let that drain a little bit better, and I'm going to spare you the boringness of me cleaning again. I am going to have to stop and get a can of degreaser tomorrow. I'm going to degrease that, scrub it again, and I'm probably going to get, you know, up in there with the gears with some sort of cleaner or something. I don't want to leave like hard water or anything in there. I want to make sure they're nice and clean. And then I'll get a gasket ordered for it. But you know, until then, we'll get that thing all nice and painted, and we will get this the shifter installed. Bow! Alright. What up, guys? And I'm back out here a couple days later, back on the transmission. But check this out. I have her all painted and cleaned up. I'm gonna be honest, the color I picked was dark steel. It turned out more of an aluminum or a stainlessy. I'm gonna be honest, I wish it was just a smidgen darker. It's not bothering me bad enough. I'm gonna repaint it. It's okay. I think the blue is actually saving it. I think had I done all that color, I wouldn't have been able to handle it. But I think the blue and the lightness and glossiness of the transmission are going to let it slide. But what I want to get to is I've got all my Hurst shifter stuff out here. And that's finally what we get to do. We got the transmission all cleaned up, painted. So let's check it out. First, what I want to show you is this is actually the original bracket and mechanism of the setup here, and it would have bolted on this little piece that moves, actually goes to the other side. Okay, don't move for that bit, but it bolts right to the tail shaft here, and then your shifter bolts right here. And okay, and oop, let's get that out of the way. First and foremost, I would like to add, be careful when you buy a Hurst shifter. Not that there's anything wrong with Hurst. Hurst is the #1 name in the market. I swear by Hurst. I always use Hurst. But in this situation, and a lot of the older situations, you have to buy them in a 2-piece kit. This is actually, I can put the part number on here if you've got a 3-speed. This is a master, oh, here's the part number right here. Master install kit for a Ford 3-speed. I imagine the Chevy 3-speed is probably the same setup, but you have to buy your shifter separately. Here is the part number for that, hopefully. What that gives you is, it replaces everything. It replaces this. So in the one kit, what you get is and this is actually a little bit beefier, but it looks to be a little less complicated than the factory setup. So we'll have to get that put together. Obviously it comes with your instructions, and it comes with all of your bushings, springs, proper retainers, and everything. And then obviously your rods, which we've not seen yet, but we'll get to that. And then this is what comes separately, your boot, which you won't be installing until it's in the truck. So we'll just have to make sure that we don't destroy this and keep it safe. And then this, this masterpiece, this is the piece we get to beat on. This, and this thing's like 15 pounds. This thing's beefy. I've always wanted a brand new master genuine shifter from Hurst, and I have bought little pieces and stuff, and shifters and boots and stuff, but I've never had a full-blown Hurst shifter kit. So I'm really excited about that. But without further ado, I mean, let's stop staring at it and make this look like this, and then put it on these. this is just kind of mocked up, but everything's bolted in place. You know, you were able to see everything I did, obviously. And you can see that the kit came with a variation of rods. These are what's working for right now. When it goes in the truck, I mean, nothing should change. I have clearance between everything. And if you've ever shifted an old 3-speed, or if you've ever been in my truck, reverse would literally hit the dashboard. First would come back and hit the seat. And then you would, I mean, it was a good probably 6-inch swing to second and third. And, you know, this is kind of hard to do because this thing shifts stiff. But, I mean, you click this boy over, bam, there's your reverse. Bam. I'm trying to hold it in place, but bam, there's your first, second, third. I mean, this, oh man, I am stoked. Look at those little swings. Grabbing a gear in this thing used to be like you were walking next door. Check it out. Now, I do want to note that I think this bracket, this is on according to the instructions, but before, the bracket actually hung downward, or the tab would have been for this shifter cable, which should be my first and reverse gears. And I, at least in my head, because this is up on the top, when this swings, this is actually kicking the opposite way. So when I'm going to reverse, I'm going to first, at least in my head. Worst case scenario, all I have to do is flip this thing upside down so that it does kick the proper angle. But that is on there correctly according to the Hurst instructions. But this was a super nice kit. I think it was missing one bolt that I needed, but it even comes with this tab right here is going to be to activate your reverse light switch. And this thing is heavy duty, man. And this, I'm so excited. Thinking this isn't centered, but oh man, I am happy. Look at that. Look at that. And I mean, look at this beef compared to, here's, you know, the original bracketry and everything. And then this is just so overly complicated. I mean, this is, and again, it would take me 3 days to shift gear to gear in this. And you saw how tight those were. That's awesome. Oh, that's awesome. I'm so excited. I'm excited. Well, guys, I do believe on that note, that's going to be where this episode ends. I do have to get gaskets for this thing. This thing's still completely empty, besides just the gears just having some grease on them. I actually got a buddy, Troy, who was able to track me down just a gasket kit for this thing, because a full, like, heavy-duty, completely blow-it-apart gasket kit for this thing was like $100. I legit needed 2 gaskets for this, so shout out, Troy. I have those Tuesday, but this is where this stops until, you know, the truck's more ready for you. Obviously, I have to do the entire engine. I have to get a flywheel and a clutch and all that stuff. So this is probably going to go inside where it can stay safe and clean. Because I super don't want to. I'm in love with my shifter already. I am so excited to bang gears in this. In up and coming episodes, again, the flathead is going to make a reappearance. We're going to get back to work on the frame notch. We got a lot of work to do. I got an braces here. I still got to finish boxing this. And speaking of boxing, I've been in touch with Queen City Fab, the company that did my frame notches for me. Probably later today, I'm going to get some cardboard templates out, and they are going to cut me laser cut frame boxes for this for a super fair price. I'm going to go ahead and get my shock tabs and probably some gussets for my cross braces while I'm at it. So that will be on an up-and-coming episode. Again, you know, I just talked about, you know, I'm broke and coronavirus and yada, yada, yada. And here I am talking about spending money, but it's going to have to hold off. I just, you know, just wanted to let you know that is a thing that's coming. I've been in contact with companies about it. Another little oddball project is the Scion, our toaster, has developed a extreme exhaust leak, so I got a new donut gasket for it, and the entire exhaust is gone. So I'm not reusing any of this exhaust on the F100, and it's like 1.5 years old, brand new from the manifolds back. So I'm probably going to cut these glass packs off and grab all that exhaust and probably just run a whole new section at the back of it. I know that's not like a super cool thing to do, but I'm going to run probably both these glass packs to try and keep it kind of quiet. And that'll be it. I see you peeking, wife. I see you. What up? Sorry. Wife needed something. Where was I? The Scion. The Scion. That's what we were talking about. But yeah, I'm going to run glass packs back to back on that. So it's going to end up having like a 36-inch long glass pack on it. Hopefully keep it quiet. I actually drive back roads to work, so I like a car with a little bit of rumble. I think that'll give it a little bit of rumble. I'm just going to run it all the way out the back. No fancy exhaust tip. But we're going to be making an exhaust out of scrap for the Scion. Rear end needs cleaned up, rebuilt. You know, it's going to get the locker in it and everything. That's it for projects off the top of my head. Speaking of tops, another project. Still got to body work and paint that. I think that's officially it for projects now. But what are we at subscriber wise? We're at 164, I believe is what I'm at right now. So thank you. Seriously, I feel like just a couple weeks ago I was begging for subscribers to get to 100. You know, now we're halfway, more than halfway to 200. Thank you guys. You know, I get a lot of shares. I'm getting a lot of reactions and stuff, comments. I actually talk to a couple subscribers almost every day now, which is pretty cool. I'm actually starting to form like a relationship with people, and I get to see what they're doing too, which again, it's really cool to think that like I inspire people or whatever, and I'm not trying to let my head get big, but it's cool. Go do stuff. You know, I'm glad that I inspire people to go do stuff. Again, and I say this all the time. Share what you do too. Inspire others to get up and go do stuff. But thanks for swinging by. Subscribe, like, share while you're here. And deuces.
Jada!